We have $100 million divorces. Blake's like, if one of us is getting $100 million divorce, then we're getting divorced.
Miranda Lambert didn't grow up believing in love stories. She grew up catching liars. But what happens when the girl who watched betrayal her whole life ends up living it in front of millions? At first glance, Miranda Lambert looks like just another country superstar. Bold, fearless, and unapologetically real. But behind the fame is a story that feels more like a crime file than a love story. She didn't grow up dreaming about romance. She grew up helping catch cheaters. From secret investigations as a child to a high-profile marriage with Blake Shelton that ended in silence, and a love life filled with controversy. Every chapter of her life has been louder, messier, and more shocking than the last. And for years she said nothing. Until recently, when everything finally started to make sense. Miranda Lambert has been called many things: homewrecker, hypocrite, even country music's most dangerous woman. But long before the headlines and messy relationships, her story started in a world where love rarely ended clean. She didn't grow up on fairy tales. She grew up watching betrayal unfold in real time. Her parents, Rick and Bev Lambert, ran a private investigation business in Texas. They exposed cheating spouses, wealthy doctors, lawyers, and businessmen who thought they would never get caught. Miranda wasn't shielded from it. As a child, she sometimes went along on cases, quietly observing how secrets lived behind normal doors. While her mother blended in to gain trust, sometimes even recording confessions, her father waited in the shadows for proof. Miranda saw everything: love letters, hidden photos, and lies carefully tucked away. She learned early that loyalty was fragile, and betrayal was everywhere. One case hit harder than the rest. It involved a doctor's wife entangled with a dangerous criminal. Miranda watched how quickly a perfect life could fall apart. That moment stuck with her. It changed how she saw trust forever. Then things got even bigger. Her parents were hired during the Bill Clinton impeachment investigation, bringing their work into the orbit of power and politics. Files filled their home. At one point, a helicopter without identification hovered over their house, signaling danger. Soon after, authorities seized their records. For a young Miranda, this wasn't just drama, it was reality. Secrets had consequences, and power could come knocking at your door. But life didn't stay stable. When the Texas oil boom collapsed in the 1980s, everything fell apart. The family lost their home and struggled to survive. They moved into rough rentals, and her father battled depression while her mother held the family together with faith and determination. Eventually, they were given a chance to rebuild. A rundown farmhouse they restored with their own hands. That house became more than a home. It turned into a shelter for abused women and children. Miranda witnessed pain up close. Fear, broken families, and women trying to escape dangerous situations. One story about a woman preparing to fight back against her abuser later inspired Miranda's music. These weren't just stories, they were real emotions that shaped her voice. Music had always been part of her life. Her father had once been an undercover cop and musician, performing in a band called Contraband. Miranda grew up around that energy: late-night gigs, country sounds, and raw storytelling. By 16, she knew she wanted out, and music was her escape. Her first trip to Nashville was a disaster. Producers tried to mold her into something polished and fake. She hated it. She left angry, determined never to lose herself again. That failure pushed her to learn guitar and write her own songs. Soon, she was performing in bars, facing tough crowds that didn't care about her feelings. That environment made her fearless. Her big break came on Nashville Star in 2003. Even though she didn't win, she gained attention and landed a record deal. But only on her terms. She demanded creative control, refusing to be shaped into a typical pop country artist. That decision paid off. Her debut album Kerosene launched her career, followed by powerful releases that mixed anger, honesty, and vulnerability. Songs like The House That Built Me proved she could be both strong and emotional, earning her major awards and respect. Then came her high-profile marriage to Blake Shelton. From the outside they looked perfect. But behind the scenes, distance and busy schedules created cracks. By 2015, their marriage ended quietly, but the public reaction was loud. Rumors, speculation, and media pressure turned their breakup into a spectacle. Instead of explaining, Miranda stayed silent and let her music speak. Her album The Weight of These Wings became an emotional diary, capturing heartbreak, confusion, and healing. But her personal life continued to attract attention, with controversial relationships and a whirlwind marriage to NYPD officer Brendan McLaughlin, just months after meeting him. Even years later, the spotlight hasn't softened. In 2025, new controversies reignited old patterns, reminding fans that her love life has always been complicated. Yet through all of it, Miranda never stopped being more than the headlines. She pushed back against a male-dominated industry, spoke out about unfair treatment of women in country music, and built something meaningful beyond fame, co-founding the Mutt Nation Foundation to rescue animals and support shelters. Her life has always been shaped by chaos, truth, and survival. And maybe that's why her music feels different. Because behind every lyric is someone who didn't just sing about heartbreak. She grew up surrounded by it. And after everything, when she finally said in 2025 that she had let go of the bitterness toward Blake, it wasn't dramatic. It was something quieter. Something real. Closure. In the end, Miranda Lambert's story isn't just about fame, relationships, or headlines. It's about what happens when someone grows up surrounded by betrayal and spends a lifetime trying to understand it, fight it, and maybe even escape it. From a little girl witnessing secrets behind closed doors to a woman turning pain into powerful music, her journey was never meant to be simple. And maybe that's why her silence spoke louder than any interview ever could. Because sometimes the truth isn't told in words. It's felt in every lyric.